Oh man, what's going on, folks? I didn't want to leave y'all hanging because I tried to go live, but little mama, she was like, I ain't taking no nap. I ain't taking no nap at all. So I had to go grab her. So this is for community, folks. This is not a live for the the masses. I just wanted to hang out with y'all for a little bit. Is my mic on? It is. So I really wanted to see how this will work out, being able to do a quick live as it relates to a particular subject matter. If it could go longer, I would have gone that way. But I really wanted to talk about this Milin portable power station that I grabbed for $250, right? That's what I wanted to chat about. And I felt like it would be helpful to you guys because a reason why I'm interested in doing the videos that I do is because when things go on sale like that, I find it to be incredibly interesting. Like that Milin is like 600 some odd watt hours with maybe a 500 watt inverter. It surges up to 1,000 watts. And it was $250. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that kind of pushed me over the edge to grab it. Now, I've been told about that Milin before. T. Webster, I believe, has one. Setite has one. There was a guy who back in the day asked me about it. He claimed I didn't respond to him. He got kind of in a funk about it. But I responded to him not only once, but twice. But anyway, so it has a 100 watt PD port that's bi-directional, right? Which is dope. Well, first, let me say this. I got it just because it was a power dump. And I was intrigued. I did it for the culture. For my white brothers and sisters who may not be hip, there's something we say in Black culture where you do something for the culture for the benefit of all those who are included in that culture. So I did it for the solar culture. So for $250, right? You got a 100 watt USB-C PD port that's bi-directional. It charges at up to 120 watts of solar, which at $250 is almost unheard of outside of the EcoFlow. If you could get the EcoFlow River base model for that cheap, which it has been like once or twice. I think the cheapest it normally is like $280. Shoot, I have notes. There's actually some people in here. Hey, Siobhan. Oh, mama, you can't mess with that. All right. Jason Noyes around. What's going on, brother? All right. So, where are my notes? Where are my notes? Where are my notes? And I had a lot of notes. I'm not going to be able to cover it in this stream. So 120 watts of solar input. It adds to my power stations that can take in around 100 watts. If you remember, that's kind of why I like that Wackery, even though it sucked, which is the Chiffon YW500. It has a 5525 barrel port, not some weird 6mm or anything like that. 8mm would have been cool too, but 5525 fits right in with my system. My big blue takes 5525 and my bull bat takes 5525, right? And it has a regulated 12 volt connection. So realistically, how that fits for me is if I ever have a situation where, don't touch mama. If I ever have a situation where any of my power stations are full, I can grab that one. It takes a somewhat standard port, and I can use it to power dump. And I can use it to power dump via USB-C. So I ran into this issue today which kind of comes in line with the EB70. The EB70, as you saw in my last video, is having some charging issues. I think it's the cable, but my port is extremely loose. Now, I don't know if it's this new cable that's extremely loose, or I actually need to grab the old cable. What you talking about? You done with me? You done with daddy? No, you're not done with daddy. She was supposed to take a nap. That's what was supposed to happen. But just a little father moment. She pooped, so I'm gonna keep it moving. For my folks, the missus is not around. She's actually on a much needed kind of break. She had a hotel room for a couple of nights just to kind of take a breather or whatever from family life, which I'm absolutely good with. Let's see what y'all snapping and trapping about. 99 is around. Jason Noise is around. LVP, what's going on, brother? Tell God, all in the soul, man. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Well wishes with all your endeavors. You know what I mean? Keep it a little light, tell people what you got going on. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, B? I don't remember that name. It's good to see you. Say hello to Siobhan, Nicole, MJ. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Mama Bear. What's happening? Love the cuddle. Good to see you too. I love seeing that name. Shouts to Javi, Tina Reed. Let's see. Miss Queen, what's happening? Get it together, 1983, baby. I'm gonna get it together one of these days, right? Yeah. She needs a break. I need a break too, but I'll just keep pushing. So I need to start taking breaks too. Actually, y'all, give me a second. I need to take care of something real quick. I know y'all will bear with me. The sad part is I'm gonna need to take this microphone off. 2 seconds. Come on, mama. Oh. Yeah. Stop. There you go. Now you go. Still want to hang out with daddy? I'm gonna say hi to the people. See if I can manage to get this back on. Can I manage to get this back on, mama? All right, now we good money. Talking about your notes. Don't start messing with that. Stop. What's up, Betterson family? Thank you, MJ. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm 4 kids deep for the weekend. You know what I mean? It ain't no thing though. So it kind of, just to take a moment, it kind of got me to thinking about this idea of power stations having their limitations when they can only charge with one port. Because if this EB70 dies, I mean, of course, I'll reach out to Bluetti and all that jazz, and that'll be fine. But I like the fact that the EcoFlow River has the AC input and the XT60. That's really cool. It's kind of sad that the EcoFlow or the EB70 doesn't charge via USB-C. Because if it did, and let's say something went terribly wrong with that particular barrel port, I could still use it. But right now, if that barrel port dies, I pretty much got a brick. So that saddens me a little bit. I just thought that was really interesting. You gotta stop, mama. You're gonna get your finger plucked. Live streaming, taking on the kids and beatboxing all at the same time. You're the man. Hey man, I'll take it. Thanks, love the cuddle. I appreciate the compliment. The reviews are tough on the mind. Keep us updated. Yeah, I did pen one video that was really good, but the thing about these devices when you buy them is longevity. You gotta be okay with the fact that on day 366 that dip may stop working, And that's just a risk you have to take, you know what I mean? It may not have no problems. You don't bump your head, mama. she's tired. That's what it is. But I can't let her go to sleep this late because it's gonna ruin bedtime. Um, let's see here. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to talk with you guys about. This idea, I had this revelation, right? I was thinking about the Big Blue and Setite or Armand Allen in the last live. Setite was in a live. Armand Allen commented afterward. You talking? Uh, so the Big Blue not having passed through charging, it hit me because one of them said, as it relates to batteries and charging and discharging at the same time, as which is what the industry considers pass through charging. We had a whole conversation about that on the live. I put time markers in there if you guys want to kind of go check that out in the last live. I found it interesting that the Big Blue charges as fast as it does. And I think that that's why they disabled the pass through charging. I think that that's what's going on there. Because if they don't have the ability to keep that device cool while all of that power, I mean, the Big Blue can charge at like what, 240 watts, 60, 61, 20 plus whatever it can get through the barrel connector, the 5525, which I think is like 110. Yeah, that could be a problem. And you think about the fact that you can pull out 500 watts. So I suspect that let me just make it plain. Another example, the Rock Pals doesn't have pass-through charging. It uses a 5521 port. Most 5521 devices charge, they stop charging at 60 watts, right? And you think about the Bowdens and another device, I think the Go Labs, their AC chargers max out at 45 watts. So I think that that's pretty peculiar. So you contrast that to something like the EcoFlow, which can discharge and charge at the same time. It has a super capable inverter comparatively. It can charge at 200 watts. The inverter can go out at 600 watts. But think about EcoFlow. EcoFlow is an extremely tech forward company. Their cooling situation is probably a lot more advanced than something like a Big Blue or a Rock Pals. I don't mean to lump Big Blue in the group of Rock Pals, but both of them turned off or disabled the ability to pass through charge. So I found that to be pretty peculiar. So the Rock Pals can charge faster than most power stations. It has its thing disabled. I guess I could take Jason Noy's comment off the page. It has pass-through charging disabled. The Big Blue can take a crap load of power and it has pass-through charging disabled. Think about the EB70. If you have watched a review or you own one, the fan is pretty substantial on that dip. It offers pass-through charging. It can take in 200 watts of solar, realistically like a $160. The inverter is 700 to 800 watts. I'm going to test that soon. I'm going to put a 750 watt heater on it to see how long, if it runs it, because I think it's the 70S is like, I don't know if I believe them that they actually updated the inverter. So I think it's interesting that that fan is as loud as it is on the EB70. So I think it's a component of how much power you can have coming in, along with how much power you can have coming out. Maybe it has to do with how big the device is and how airflow can move through it. But I kind of understand if that has something to do with it, why Big Blue would turn off the ability to pass through charge on the AC, because that's the only thing they turned off. I think that's pretty interesting. What do y'all think? What's up, Silver Surfer? Dominique Unique, what's happening? Oh man, yeah. Somebody commented and said that they found information on the Milin catching on fire. which is why I was intentional with not being like, hey, the Milin is on sale. I was just like, what do y'all think? Because I don't like to get into the business of recommending devices. That's not my angle. You know what I mean? My angle is to be able to talk about the device, talk about its benefits. The Milin at $250 is interesting. At $500, I would never spend that much money on that device. $250, I was compelled. So I ordered it. It's gonna come here Sunday if weather permits. Now, a quick update on the giveaway, and I'm gonna probably get up out of here. I told y'all not to count on me for doing it on Wednesday, but I will do it either tonight or tomorrow. I'll pick the comment and then I'll let the person know. I'll put my email under the comment and then we'll kind of go from there. What happened was, what I used to do is I used to go through and vet the comments and make sure that the person had a proper whatever, just kind of looking out for y'all to make sure y'all have timestamps in it. I didn't have time to do that this time. I did it on 1 or 2 comments, but I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pick the comment and then I'll vet that comment. If that comment doesn't meet the criteria, then I'll pick another comment instead of me going through vetting 30 some odd comments or whatever. So that's kind of where we stand with that. I'll do it tonight. Y'all pay attention to the live. I didn't intentionally heart any comments on that one because the hearting of the comment is what sends out the notification. So when I pick the winner, I'll comment up under them and I'll use the heart to let them know so they get the notification. They can kind of check out what's going on. That was really fast. It was really fast. You just pulled the trigger on it. That's interesting. And it's like, people were saying there's some bad reviews out there, but they were also saying that people, when they reach out to the company is like responsive. That's another thing I want to kind of test out. I'll reach out to the company and see if maybe they want to reimburse me the coin so I can make the video. We'll see how that goes. But if they don't, then I'm going to take my time with making a video. Not on purpose. I just got other videos to make. I actually don't mind the fan on the EB70, but they can definitely update and fix some things on the EB70. I dig that. Jason always says, I guess they just updated the firmware on the EB70S to allow a few more watts. That's what I'm thinking. But they say the light's brighter in it. I could never get more than 800 watts on that dip to begin with. Let me give a quick update. I need to do a video on the EB120. I wanted to give a quick update on that. I couldn't figure out why I was having some problems with it, and not real problems. It was basically my fault. I would run my deep freezer from it, right? And my deep freezer would go up to 1,000 watts. I talked about this previously. And then I would hear a click. Armand Allen, I think, was telling me that, or somebody was telling me that there's probably a compressor running and you hear it spinning and then it stops. That's kind of normal. That's what they said. I don't know. But the device continues to run. The deep freezer continues to run into full power, right? So I would use that to power my deep freezer. But I will also use the DC to charge up another power station, whether that's the 12-volt socket or the actual 45-watt USB PD port. And what would happen is I would get an error on my DC part, because it has 3 things. It has power on, it has DC, and then it has AC, right? So I couldn't figure out for the life of me why my DC kept erroring out when it could do up to 120 watts or so, or whatever it is, right? And I was just pushing like 60 or 45 or something like that. But I figured it out. When that deep freezer ramps up, it's going right at that 1,000 watts or maybe higher, because I've seen it go a little higher. And then it can't put out that power in totality. So then it'll disable, or the DC errors out. Isn't that interesting? The AC doesn't error out. The DC errors out. I thought that was peculiar. So I just stopped putting the DC on it while I'm running the deep freezer. I was like, just let the AC run. That's what's most valuable to me anyway. But I thought that was interesting. All right. What else we got here? I think that's it. That's all I got. That was fast. What's up, PD? Nicole says, so it didn't have a surge capacity on the DC side. I think what's going on is because AC is maxing, it it's like the device itself must have some hardline cap for the total amount of watts it can put out at a certain time. So then the DC errors out. It hits me with an I have to look it up to see what it was, but my DC port turns off. And then I can turn it back on because a deep freeze or a refrigerator doesn't pull that much power all the time. But I couldn't figure out for the life of me why it was turning off. I'm like, you got juice in you? Like, what is going on? But I think that's what it is. It's putting out whatever it's putting out on the DC. When that AC kicks on, it goes above like 800, 900, 1,000, whatever it does, then it turns the DC off first, which is very peculiar. Very, very peculiar. Oh, that's me. You can't hear nothing else but me. That's the oven timer. All right, all right, all right, all right. This is cool. How long? 20 minutes. All right, y'all. Y'all be beautiful. I was glad to hang out with y'all for a little bit. If you have any questions or whatever, comment them after the live. I definitely wanted to touch on those few subjects because I know some people. I wanted to go live a couple of days ago to talk about the Milin, but I couldn't manage it familially. So I didn't want to kind of leave people hanging. I wanted to air out my ideas and my thoughts in a video form. So, all right, y'all be beautiful. I'm out of here. Thanks y'all for hanging out.